Hello, I'm Glenn Youngkin, Republican nominee for Governor of Virginia. It is such a pleasure to be speaking with you today at the Virginia Tea Party Summit. And even though I'm unable to join you in person, please know I'm with you all in spirit. I hope you all feel it. Something special is happening across the Commonwealth of Virginia. We are all coming together as Virginians because we know we must win this fall. We have to stop the big lurch left that the left liberal progressive policies have just dragged Virginia. And the great thing is, I am neck and neck with my opponent, Terry McAuliffe. I've been at this for 20 weeks. He's been a politician for 40 years. And what that says is that Virginians are ready for a change. So ready for a different direction, for a fresh start to putting Virginia exactly where we know we should be, which is the best state in America to live and work and raise a family. But we know that our Commonwealth is at a crossroads. We're going to have a choice this fall to become either the permanent East Coast version of California or to become the best state in America where we dream the biggest dreams and then we go get them. We go get them without the government in our lives, without the government in our businesses, but unleashing the human spirit to actually do what we're all destined to do. After 8 years of Democrat control, Virginia is a different state. McAuliffe said this so himself. And oh, by the way, he is right. The fact is our Commonwealth is less safe than it was 8 years ago. It does not provide the economic opportunity that Virginians deserve and is more expensive for all of the great Virginians that work here and their families. McAuliffe and Northam brought chaos to our economy, chaos to our schools, chaos to our communities, chaos into our law enforcement heroes. Now McAuliffe wants to keep that chaos going for another 4 years. Friends, we just can't afford a third term of this extreme left liberal agenda, and we all know it. Virginians are agreeing. I'm walking down the street, I have Republicans, independents, Democrats coming up to me and saying, Glenn, we're for you. Because no one is going to choose this recycled 40-year political insider, this career politician who pretends to be a businessman, who talks big but doesn't deliver anything, who failed Virginia the first time he was governor and yet wants Virginians to vote for him again. This is why I'm so excited to be running with Winsome Sears and Jason Miyares. What a fabulous ticket. And we are going to win. The Washington Post said a few weeks ago that Glenn Youngkin has a surprisingly good chance of winning. And the most recent polls have us statistically tied. So together, we will reignite our economy. We're going to restore excellence in our schools. And we're going to reestablish our commitment to public safety. Right here, right now, this is going to happen. And Terry McAuliffe stands in the way of all of that. His campaign is bankrolled by Nancy Pelosi, who donated $100,000 to his campaign. He's embraced the far left of his party, including AOC's and Bernie Sanders' socialist, government-run, single-payer health care scheme that would cause even further chaos by banning private health insurance and taking away the health plans of millions of Virginians. McAuliffe called critical race theory a conspiracy theory, insulting and dismissing and attacking parents and teachers of all political stripes who are standing up and saying, we don't want this harmful, divisive political agenda in our classrooms. McAuliffe will carry out the radical left's wishes and strip police officers of the legal protection known as qualified immunity so that they can be targeted with frivolous civil lawsuits and personally bankrupted just for doing their jobs. It's just another way of funding the police and making our communities less safe. If McAuliffe gets rid of qualified immunity, thousands of police officers will retire all at once. Talk about chaos. And let's not forget that when McAuliffe was governor, the murder rate in Virginia went up 43%. And today we stand at a 20-year high in the murder rate. It's absolutely shameful, and we cannot have Terry McAuliffe back. McAuliffe is also waging war against people of faith. He actually said that so-called religious freedom legislation is just a license to discriminate. He is committed to making it impossible for all of us to live out our faith in peace. Make no mistake, McAuliffe is an extremist. He's a dangerous, dangerous threat to our constitutional rights, more so than we've ever seen here in Virginia. In 2017, McAuliffe vetoed a bill that would have ensured that the State Department of Elections shared information with local registrars about voters that were registered to vote in multiple states. I mean, who does that? Only someone who doesn't care about whether our elections are actually fair and secure. Terry McAuliffe was the one in 2000 that actually said that George W. Bush had taken the election from Alabama. I mean, this is a democracy issue, folks, and we have to stay focused. McAuliffe's agenda would also hurt Virginia's taxpayers. He's proposing billions and billions of dollars of new spending, which is, as we all know, means billions and billions of dollars of increased taxes. Instead of streamlining our budget and making government work better and more efficiently for all Virginians, McAuliffe will find ways to waste our money and give it to his political allies and his union boss friends. Make no mistake, McAuliffe will get rid of Virginians' right-to-work status. He has said on the record, when that bill comes to his desk to get rid of right to work, he will sign it. And nothing could be more cataclysmic for Virginia's economy. But not if I have anything to say about it. Because I believe the best jobs program this year will be to make sure that Terry McAuliffe does not have one come November. As governor, I will ban critical race theory, getting it out of our classrooms, and restore a focus on excellence in our education system. I will support law enforcement by standing up for them and standing up against those that would want to defund our police. And I will prioritize public safety. I will also make sure that we will get down our cost of living. I've said before, if it smells like a tax increase or looks like a tax increase, I'll veto it. We have to do better. We actually have to work to reduce the state income tax so that we can, in fact, compete with our neighboring states. We, in fact, will stand up for religious freedom, just like I stood up for Loudoun County school teacher Tanner Cross when he was suspended for saying that his faith would not allow him to abide by the rules that the Loudoun County School Board was trying to impose on him. I stood with Tanner, and a judge ruled that he couldn't be canceled from his job just for living out his Christian faith. And now that school is taking Tanner to the Supreme Court, and I'll stand with him there too. When it comes to free and fair elections, I believe it's just simple common sense, and we have to move forward with reforms like having accurate voting rolls and requiring a photo ID to vote. And you need a photo ID to get a library card. It just makes sense to show up with one to vote. We will restore that requirement when I'm governor so that all Virginians don't have to worry their vote was counted improperly or whether it was accurately counted to elect those that Virginia's elected. To do all this, we must win in November. And let me just be clear. Virginians do not follow. Virginians don't settle. We lead. We have been leading from the beginning of this great country. In fact, Virginia's history is our country's history. And we all know that when Thomas Jefferson wrote the most revolutionary words ever heard, that all men are created equal. We, in fact, started the history of the greatest country on earth. And then more Virginians stepped in. George Washington led us to independence. James Madison wrote our Constitution, and Patrick Henry stood up and said that without a Bill of Rights, we will not ratify that Constitution. Here, use Virginians. My friend George Mason wrote it. And that's exactly what we have done. And now our country's future will absolutely be dictated